At Fireguard 124 has a Cessna.
Fireguard 124, roger.
This is 800 feet target altitude, so this would be the altitude that they would be at above the tree. Now dropping, you've got terrain off your right side, so you got to watch out for that terrain there.
We're watching pilots practice what they'll soon be doing for real for months, an air assault on a wildfire.
Can't believe how low he is. Bullseye, you are clear to come around.
We'll likely see a lot of video of aerial firefighting this summer, but what happens here is a less well-known story. This is the headquarters of Conair, just outside of Vancouver in Abbotsford, British Columbia. They have a fleet of more than 70 aircraft, more than 90 pilots, and they're giving us an inside look at how they're getting ready for fire season. We're headed to Harrison Lake, a short flight from Abbotsford. Ryan Gahan is going to show us a training mission. He's Conair's fleet manager of air attack operations.
Everything that we do over fire will go on practice.
You use the word practice, but it's pretty serious stuff, that this training session.
It's very serious.
It is a gorgeous day for flying, but keep in mind, when these pilots do this for real, the conditions will almost certainly be jarringly more challenging.
Depending on how intense the fire is, it kicks off a lot of energy and does create interesting weather patterns and can adjust the winds.
Let's take you behind the aerial choreography. The lead plane is called the Bird Dog. On board, beside the pilot, there's an air attack officer, an expert on fighting fires. They would take a closer look at a fire and identify the precise target for the tanker. The Bird Dog pilot then flies the best approach and releases smoke to show the tanker pilot where that target is.
And then you can see the Bird Dog is behind the tanker. Now right. The Bird Dog is checking the tanker's line. Right, he's
helping direct it if needed.
Helping direct if needed. They usually drop around 100 feet above the canopy. You don't want to drop too low because you want the water to lose, the drop to lose all that forward momentum. But if you drop too high, then the load will start blowing apart and you don't get the accuracy that you're looking for.
Where does a pilot learn all this stuff?
We teach them.
Before Conair can teach you to fight fires, you need to be an experienced pilot, around 3,000 to 4,000 hours of flight time. I'm kind of surprised at how many simulators you have. This is Conair's Simulation Training and Tactics Center. A fleet of simulators can be linked together the way these pilots will have to coordinate their firefighting flights this summer.
687, we're acquiring engine power and having visual.
Scott Stewart, the manager of flight standards, is letting me take the yoke. I'll try not to have a big smile on my face here.
Well, you should have a big smile on your face. This is fun. You are airborne. So here we go. We've got a fire, top of a ridge. Looks like it's burning south to north.
On this day, the team is taking on a simulated wildfire near Kamloops in BC's interior. Retardant is dropped just ahead of the fire to slow it down. Ground crews can then go in and try to contain the fire.
So we never want to go into something where we have to, we don't have a planned escape maneuver. Mm-hmm. So I would never go at a fire like this direction just because you've got hills and everything behind you.
And here you're not dealing with flying technique, you're dealing with firefighting technique, right?
Yes, yeah. Mostly firefighting technique, however, there is some flying technique. But the biggest thing is to be very predictable for everybody. Yeah. So we'll just do a little bit of a right turn and widen out a bit from the mountain.
Clients like the province of British Columbia rely on Conair and other companies during the wildfire season. BC says on average it runs about 560 missions with tankers every year. But the season's getting longer, more intense, and the need for aircraft is increasing. This is Hangar 2, where they convert passenger planes into air tankers. They used to do 1 a year here, now it's up to 5, and that's not keeping up with demand. They're transforming a Dash 8-400 airliner into an air tanker. Conair points out this is a very Canadian operation. The plane, built by de Havilland, with engines from Pratt & Whitney, Canada. Jeff Barry is the VP of Business Development.
We can work off 5,000 feet, but we can also fly at 360 knots, and we can draw long lines of retardant supporting those folks on the ground. So it really becomes a great fit for almost every aerial firefighting need in the world.
The Dash 8-400 is currently not in production, so Conair searches the world for them. Like from Britain's Flybe Airlines, which went out of business just over a year ago. The cabins are stripped of seats, a tank is attached, which can carry 10,000 liters of retardant. The same things that make Dash 8s attractive to airlines, powerful, versatile planes which don't need long runways to land, make them perfect for fighting fires, too. René Sanche has been flying for 11 seasons with Conair, and he loves being at the controls of the Dash 8-400. You've flown a lot of planes.
I have.
Do you like this one?
I love it. It's got lots of power. It's not an easy aircraft to fly. It's fast. It's really fast. It's a sports car.
The pilots here say aerial firefighting is not for everyone. During fire season, the hours are long and intense.
Oh, you can feel the heat.
The stakes are high, but so's the reward. Sanche says after the Fort McMurray fire 8 years ago, he was hooked.
We were protecting the highway because it was the only southbound route to get out of Fort McMurray. And we're dropping retardant and water right along the highway. The biggest reason I remember it is everybody got out of Fort McMurray and they evacuated 80,000 people and there was no deaths, there's no injuries.
And you played a role in that.
I did.
The fact that all those people got out safely is due in part to what you and other pilots did.
Yes.
Next week, Sanche and another pilot will be flying their planes to Alberta, joining 2 others which are already there. The company says it's the earliest deployment they've ever had for a long-term contractor. Everyone is getting ready for what's expected to be a longer fire season.